Good afternoon and welcome to Prime of Midlife. What you see here is me about to make macaroni cheese. However, today's video was going to be about this kilo of mince that I took out the freezer, and I was going to do mince and dough balls, I was going to do mince and skirly and all that sort of stuff, and obviously I'm in no fit state to be doing that sort of thing. So what I've done is I'm cooking it, I'm putting it in the slow cooker, and it's just going to be mince, and I will do the side dishes later. So let me just get this in the slow cooker and I will come back to you. Welcome back. Now what we're doing just now is, obviously I'm not well, so I'm feeling sorry for myself, and when I feel sorry for myself I make myself mac and cheese. It just is what it is. So in this pot back here we have pasta with some dehydrated sweet corn, because I put veggies in my mac and cheese. And in here we have, well, we did have a knob of butter, but of course I forgot this was electric, and as you can hear, because the mince was in there earlier at high, it's still not cooled down very much. So we're just letting that cool down a bit. Now I also have some milk, some flour, and the cheese is actually in the freezer because I use grated cheese from the freezer. So how I make mac and cheese. Obviously pasta there with whatever veggies you have in it. I will be getting frozen peas soon because I like peas as well, because really I don't like when something's just mush. I do like to have some texture in my food. So then we get our melted butter. Now what we need to do with this, according to my school cookery teacher, because would you believe this is still the recipe I learned at school, we put in some flour and then we take it off so it doesn't burn. And what we need to do is we need to cook the flour in the butter. Now obviously that's a bit lumpy and everything, and it's still a bit runny, so we're going to get another bit of flour because I like my mac and cheese to be quite thick. So another spoonful of flour. And basically once you get this, you can start adding, once you cook off the flour, you can add milk to your desired consistency. So, and as for how much butter that was, that's a new packet, so it basically got taken off from there. So yeah, you can see the crease there, that's about how much I took off. So now we've mixed this all together, so the flour and the butter are now mixed. Now hopefully this will have cooled down a bit, because I want this to just cook gently. And I sort of squish it all down to get as much of the surface area of the flour cooked as possible. There we go. Now what you'll notice, you'll see it's bubbling away there, and you let it do that and you see it sort of smoothing out a bit, and then when you flip it over you'll see it's a different texture, and that's it cooking off. So we'll do that for now. Now what I want to do just now, because the pasta's sort of half cooked, as I say, I add veggies, so I have here a raw chopped onion, just very roughly chopped, and I just boil that up with the pasta. I know some people say that's sacrilege, don't care. That's what I like, it's my comfort food. So here we go, see, so we're just turning this over to try and make sure that all the flour has been fried off in the butter. Don't ask me why it works, it just does. As I say, my cookery teacher told me this, and it's absolutely fabulous. I love the cheese sauce, so that's just what we do. So once it gets to this where you can see it's that different sort of texture and it's not smoothing out when it bubbles anymore, this is when you can add the milk. So what we do is we add a whole lot of milk. Now I have done it through the years where you add a little bit and then you beat it up, and then you add a little bit and you beat it up, and it takes forever. So what I do now is I just add a whole lot more milk. Now what we need to do is wait for this milk to heat up. And as it heats up, the flour and butter will thicken the milk. So you just keep it stirring because you don't want anything sticking to the bottom of the pot. See? We will stir. Oh, I'm so glad I brought my water with me. See, keeping hydrated whilst not well. A sensible thing to do. So now we make sure that everything's not sort of attached to the bottom. I'm going to turn this up because I really can't be bothered waiting. And while this heats up, we'll turn this one up as well because that seems to have slowed down to nothing, which is no use to man their beast. Okay. Oh, yep, I can feel that. See the steam coming off of it? That means things are about to start happening. And you just start to feel some bits at the bottom of the pan, the texture sort of changes, it gets a bit slippier. And that'll not be long until you start getting a thicker sauce. And after this first session of thickening, that's, especially when you added as much milk as I did, that's when you can work out whether you're going to add more more milk or not. See, you can just see that starting to thicken now. Now, if I had only added a small bit of milk, this would be like a thick paste by now, and like a big ball in the middle of the pot. But because I added quite a bit of milk, we've skipped that stage. Now, the other thing to remember is that your cheese will also thicken this sauce. So, see, this is sort of like the consistency I like my sauce. But when I add cheese, it's going to get thicker. So what I want to do now is I want to add some more milk to make this runnier so that I still get that thickness of sauce when I add the cheese. So, and although I'm using fresh semi-skimmed milk today, which is one of the reasons I did this, because it makes it even better, I do actually make this with my UHT skimmed milk quite a lot. Just because that's mainly the milk I have in the house. Now this is a perfect time to be adding your salt and pepper. Here we go again, really. So a bit of salt. Bit of pepper, give it a bit mixed round. See, and you can see that it's still a decent enough sauce, it's just a bit runnier than it was. So now what we do is we go get the cheese. I'll be right back. Back again. This time I have just put the peas in with the pasta because the peas were in the freezer, which is where my grated cheese was as well. Best thing I ever did was when I found Mum's food processor was to grate a whole load of cheese and put it in the freezer. Unfortunately, I have not been going through it very quickly, so I think it possibly needs to be used a bit quicker than I'm doing at the moment. Oh my goodness, that's cold on my hands. Oh! Oh, yeah, that's what happens if you don't stir your sauce. It starts sticking to the bottom of the pot and everything like that, and I think we've luckily just caught that in time. Whew! Nothing worse than your sauce as well. So, put this back in the freezer. Let's be sensible and take this off the heat while we're doing that. I'm so glad this is nearly done now because I am exhausted. So yeah, as you can see, the sauce is quite a bit thicker. I'm turning that one up so that the peas get cooked, because there's not long to go until this is done. Basically, as soon as the cheese is melted, I will be draining the pasta and veggies and adding the sauce. So, and then I will be sitting down with a hot cup of tea and mac and cheese and just relaxing. And I will have so much mac and cheese. Unless, of course, my daughter sees this video and then she'll come out and I won't have as much mac and cheese left anyway. Because this is definitely a family favourite. Now obviously if you've just grated your cheese from fresh, it will not take this long to melt into the sauce. Oh, there you go, that'll be my veggies and stuff. Doing their thing. Yes, I know it's a mess, I don't care. I just want the mac and cheese now. See, you know it's comfort food when you're standing here going, I'm feeling miserable, I'm feeling the cold, or the COVID as the case may be, in my case, and I just want this comfort food. So, there we go, I think that's possibly done enough now. We'll switch off all the heat everywhere. Give that another stir. Yeah, take it off the heat. Right. As you can hear, that was me getting the colander out. Let's just get this off of here. Oh, goodness gracious me. And get this drained. I'm back in the pot. And you know there was some bits got missed, and you know I don't care. And I'm going to put that up there so it's not on the heat. And then I'm literally just going to pour the sauce in. And I have tried doing it the other way, making the sauce in a bigger pot, and to try and save myself having 2 pots to get washed with the cheese sauce in it. And you know something? It's not worth the hassle. I know how to do this. My portion control is this way. So this is the way I do it. And then you stir. And you stir. And you can tell that I've been standing for a while and I need to go and take my tablets. But does that not look absolutely lush? Oh, it does to me, and really that's all that matters. So I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea and eat some mac and cheese. Hope you're having a good Saturday.